Okay, recording has started.
You have been injured in a car accident that wasn't your fault? We are settling
Great.
cases
Fantastic.
up to
Okay.
$100,000 for our clients.
So,
If we don't win your case,
where we left
then you
off,
don't pay.
from what I remember,
Click more info below to get
we're on
your
chapter...
consultation.
We're on chapter... No, we're on chapter 5. I'm stupid. Stupid. So where we left off... Right? Yeah. So where we left off is that, Victor von Frankenstein's brother is dead. His younger brother is dead. Someone who did not do the murder but was convicted of the murder of the brother dies, and Victor went and ran to the mountains to go and saw the monster, ran to the mountains, and now is sitting and listening to the story of the monster. And that is the basis gist of what is going on. So right now we are still halfway through the monster's tales. He has found a place to rest with these people in a cabin, and he is just sitting there and watching them, learning and getting smarter every day.
Why are you wasting your time on me?
And oh, and there's a one important thing. There is a new woman that has now come to the cabin and is also living with these people. And these people is a old blind man named DeLacy, Felix, his son, his daughter Agatha, and a new woman who eventually we will find out. It's really hard to figure it out, but is Felix's new wife. So there's 2 women and 2 men that are living in this small cabin out in the woods. So, hello. You just came in right as we finished the summary of where we were. Basically, right now we are hearing the story of the monster, of the monster that Frankenstein created, and his story and how he has gotten to where he is. I miss so many streams, eh? Don't worry about it. I do post all of my streams up on YouTube, so if you want to go in and ever miss a stream, I do post all of the streams onto YouTube in order to archive them in case either I miss the VODs or the VODs somehow get deleted from my computer. At least they're archived somewhere on the internet. So I do not have the Frankenstein stories up yet, but they will be published probably sometime this weekend, because I need to still look at YouTube to make sure that I can publish that. I thought he was named Creature. His name is not Creature, and his name is not Monster. Honestly, he's whatever you want to call him. They call him Creature, Damon, Vile Wretch. Yeah. I love... Oh, you do? Thank you. My name's Art, and I create things. So Art creates. Easy enough. Roy... Bob? You want a name? Okay, you want the monster's name to be Bob? We'll call him Bob. Okay? Okay, so we're gonna hear Bob's story. We're gonna hear the rest of Bob's story. We're gonna hear Bob Roy. You know what? We're gonna name him Bob Roy, okay? Bob Roy's story is what we're gonna continue listening to. So he's up at this cabin, watching these people and their everyday lives and learning to speak. Oh my gosh! Red! Bob Dylan, oh my gosh. Friend raid, ayo, ayo. Can we get a shout out in the chat? Do you want me to shout him out, or do I need to shout him out? Bobby Roy Monster, the country singer. We're having an argument about what to call the monster right now, Red. We haven't even started reading. Oh my gosh. Thank you for giving him the shout out as well. Thank you. We gotta do double shout outs. We gotta do double the shout outs. Because that new shout out feature is really awesome. I love it. It's so easy for me to now follow people. But oh my gosh, look at everybody. Hello, everybody. Holy shit. I think this is the most amount of people I've ever had in my chat. What the heck? Well, no, I sometimes I get more, but man, you all really like these readings. Maybe I should continue on with them. I will say, question. One question. We are probably going to be done a language. Hey, don't hit me with a language. I'm a PG-13 channel. It says right there in my stuff, PG-13. I can curse if I want to. You're not my mom. Even though my mom tells me not to curse as much. Also, I thought Victor von Frankenstein was a monster. He's really oh yeah, Fudge Nuggets! Oh no, wait, I think I have it as a 5. Oh, now I have to do. Wait, oh god. Okay. Question. Am I not going, I have to not curse during the entirety of stream? Or do I? Can I please read this? Can you please stop? I want to read. Oh my god. I have to not curse the entirety of stream? I have to not curse the entire, oh no. Wait, does saying like OMG, like the full phrase, count as cursing? Does it? Does that count? I don't know. I don't know if it counts, but god damn, we're here now. No? Okay, good. Because I'm gonna probably say that way too much. Oh, now I gotta make apparently now me reading Frankenstein is gonna be family friendly. I don't know how reading Frankenstein to anybody is family friendly. Also, by the way, yes, Frankenstein is Victor von Frankenstein. And Victor von Frankenstein is not a doctor. He was literally a college student. He was a college student that decided to do this. For giggles. For laughs. I don't know why. He decided. Like, literally the entirety of this book is hilarious. It's... You need to make it magical. Yeah, giggle smiggle. A little bit of a giggle smiggle. No, he actually never dropped out of university. He apparently still went to university. He was just a college student doing a passion project. Because remember, back in those days, you went to college to learn more. You didn't really need to get a degree in anything. Degrees didn't really exist. It was more of like... Universities back then were like high school plus, you know? So, you didn't really need to do much.
Wow.
Wow. Frederick Bob Smith Jr. the third. Oh my... No. He's Bob. He's Bob. His name is Bob. Okay? Can I please? Shall you all shush? Bob. Bob is the name of the monster. Not the Overwatch reference. What do you mean Overwatch? No, I'm just naming him Bob. 'Cause Bob. Oh my gosh. No. Bob. Stop. Can I please read? We haven't even it's 30. It is 2:30. We have been talking for 30 minutes. Pochita, yes. If you want to, oh, by the way, if you guys want this Pochita asset, it is free and available, for you, along with a Pochita emote. So, free Pochita asset and free Pochita emote. You can get it at my Ko-Fi shop.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, we're never gonna start reading. Rest in peace, Pochita. Yes, R.I.P. Pochita. Pochita be on my head right now. My loving Pochita be on my head. Okay, you know what? Screw you. Screw all of you. I am going to start. I'm going to start. Chapter 5 of Volume 2 of Frankenstein. This is Bob, the monster, talking, by the way, so. I will take away. I shall take away your privileges. I am this close to muting that stuff. So is this a stream for an attempt to stop her or stumble her reading? Oh my gosh. No, I shall not clarify it. I shall not clarify it. You cannot stop me. I now hasten to the more moving part of my story. I shall retail events that impressed me with the feelings which from that, what I had been, have made me what I am. Oh my. Stop. 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 Please. Hello, Tycho. Oh my gosh. Okay, if you guys want to tweet out hashtag... If you want to make this an official challenge, try and get more people involved. If you want to make it a more official challenge, try and challenge your friends to come on my Twitch channel right now and try and stop me. If you want to challenge me to stop me from reading, you better bring in more people. You gotta spread the hashtag stop art reading. You better spread if hashtag art stop reading doesn't end up on the trending, no. If you if you guys do not make me so fed up where I stop reading, the challenge is not succeeded. Oh no. Where is Doctor Strange when you need him? Well, you're gonna have to go and get people. You're gonna have to go and get people. That's what you're gonna have to do. Oh my gosh. Abby! Abby, I'm so sorry with this. My stream is being chaotic. Welcome to Abby, welcome to the stream, welcome to the chaoticness and of the stream. They are challenging, my chat has decided the challenge of stop me from reading, so. Try your best. Hit me with your best shot, as they say. I thrive in it. Great. Great. Fantastic. We're apparently trying to get hashtag stop art reading. Yes, we're gonna keep the scuff going. I have only read one paragraph. I have invited like 18 friends. Oh my, oh no.
Emotional damage!
Oh my. You know what? Spring advanced rapidly. The weather became fine and skies cloudless. It surprised me that what before was desert and gloomy should now bloom with the most beautiful flowers and verdure. My senses were gratified and refreshed by 1,000 scents of delight and 1,000 sights of beauty. It was on one of these days when my cottagers periodically rested from their labor. The old man played his guitar and the children listened to him. That I observed the countenance of Felix was melancholy beyond expression. He sighed frequently, and once his father paused in his music. I conjectured by his manner that he inquired the cause of his son's sorrow. Felix replied in a cheerful accent, and the man was recommencing his music when someone tapped at the door. Twitch decided to take me away. Yo, really? Did Twitch just go yoink? Beautiful. Good. Good. Good.
I'm in danger.
Huh? Yes, I am. With this challenge. It was a lady on horseback, accompanied by a countryman as a guide. The lady was dressed in a dark suit and covered with a thick black veil. Agatha asked a question, to which the stranger only replied by pronouncing in a sweet accent the name of Felix. You are in danger. No! No, you will never win. Felix? No, not Felix the Hungry Cat, okay? No. Her voice was musical, but unlike that of either of my friends. On hearing the word Felix, on hearing this word, Felix came up hastily to the lady, who, when she saw him, threw up the veil and beheld a countenance of angelic beauty and expression. Her hair of shining raven black and curiously braided, her eyes were dark but gentle, although animated. Her features of a regular proportion, and her complexion wondrously fair. Each cheek tinged with lovely pink. You're trying. You're trying. Felix seemed ravished with delight when he saw her. Every trait of sorrow vanished from his face, and it instantly expressed a degree of ecstatic joy of which I could hardly have believed it capable. His eyes sparkled, as his cheek flushed with pleasure, and at that moment I thought him as beautiful as the stranger. She appeared affected by different feelings, wiping a few tears from her tears from her. I'm so close. I'm close of revoking your privileges. You got George again? Nice. Good. Good. Good on getting in the George. Why are you all like this? No. Warlock, I asked that myself. Into the back rooms she goes. Yes, you know what? Give Chet a bonk. Give Chet a bonk. Give yourselves a bonk.
Literally have the best of two worlds, especially if AT&T's network keeps you always local. And with 4 lines from 30
Posture check. Ayo, already a posture check and a stretch. Thank you. Oh, now you guys are giving yourself pats. Oh my god. Oh my. Oh no. Why all the redeems? Okay. After the flute is done. Flute, stop. Oh my gosh, stop! Okay. Oh. I still have a bark to do! Okay, you guys want to bark? There you go. There's your bark. You guys know that I can easily just mute it, right? I literally have an OBS sound alerts and I can just mute it. One more bark. Oh my gosh. How many barks do you want? If you want a bunch of barks, you're gonna have to redeem a bunch of barks. If you want, it just says bark. That's one bark. If you want more barks, you're gonna have to give me more redeems. Oh yeah, she was wiping her tears away. Wiping tears away from her lovely eyes. She held out her hand to Felix, who kissed it rapturously and called her, as well as I could distinguish, his sweet Arabian. She did not appear to understand him, but smiled. He assisted her to dismount and dismissed her guide, conducted her into the cottage. Some conversation took place between him and his father, and the young stranger knelt at the old man's feet, and would have kissed his hand, but he raised her and embraced her affectionately.
Hello, is it me you're looking for?
I mean, actually, that sound fits really well with this paragraph right now, so honestly, I'm not mad. My pupper is tilting her head, looking confused. Oh, because of my barks? Yeah, even my dog gets confused. Yes. Here, I'll give you a few more. Question, are my barks better than Bow? Are my barks better than Bow, the VTuber Bow? I've heard arc, not bark. Well, if I do bark, then it's like ow, 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 ow. Woof. I can do a variety of different dog sounds. Have not heard heard their barks. Am I too loud for my mic? Because if so, I gotta just push it back a little bit. I soon perceived that although art. What? I soon perceived, though, although the stranger uttered articulate sounds and appeared to have a language of her own, she was neither understood by, nor herself understood, the cottagers. They made many signs which I did not comprehend, but I saw that her presence diffused gladness through the cottage, dispelling their sorrow as the sun dissipates the morning mist. Felix seemed particularly happy, and with smiles of delight welcomed his Arabian. Agatha, the ever-gentle Agatha, kissed the hands of the lovely stranger, and pointing to the brother, made signs which appeared to me to mean that he had been sorrowful until she came. Are you just literally just spamming emotes now? Oh my god. I can't take you all anywhere. I can't take you all anywhere anywhere at all. Yes, oh my gosh. Oh. Some hours passed thus, while they, by their countenances, expressed joy, the cause of which I did not comprehend. Presently I found, by the frequent reoccurrence of some sound which the stranger repeated after them, that she endeavoring to learn their language, and the idea instantaneously occurred to me that I should make use of the same instructions to the same end. The stranger learned about 20 words at the first session. Most of them indeed were those which I had before understood, but I profited by the others. What? What? Air support requested wing commander. What? What? What is going on in my chat? I just turn and look up and what? Air support requested to commander. Sorry. Mass bomb. You want a mass bomb? Oh, I don't think my mods is. I don't think mod's in here anymore. Hold on. Mod took a nap. Fine. Fine. There you go. Have fun. I want a mass bomb. Oh my god. Yeah, the mass bombings are pretty fun. Anyways. Oh, talking through a radio. Oh, I see. I ardently desire to understand them, and bent every faculty towards that purpose. But found it utterly impossible. The next morning, Felix went out to his work, and after the unusual occupants of Agatha were finished, the Arabian sat at the feet of the old man, and taking his guitar, played some airs. So or when you get rich and famous, when I get rich and famous, what? I'm not gonna get rich and famous. Have you seen my followers? They've just plateaued. I've literally plateaued so much. It gets increased during the summer and then it just stays flat. Do a stream where dance in a shark costume. Hey yo, to California. Hey yo, okay. Okay, I actually sent I sent a TikTok to Ray, and I was like, you in chat, and it was a bunch of people dancing in shark costumes, and I'm like, that's Ray in her chat. That's the entirety of Ray in her chat. Me? No, I have a better idea. Not a shark costume, but you'll see. You'll see when if I get it. I have that oh my gosh. It is fun. It's very fun. Anyways, the Arabians sat at the old and taking played some airs so entrancingly beautiful, that they at once drew tears of sorrow and delight from my eyes. She sang, and her voice followed in a rich cadence, swelling or dying away, like a nightingale of the woods. When she had finished, she gave the guitar to Agatha, who at first declined it. She played a simple air, and her voice accompanied it in sweet accents, but unlike the wondrous strain of the stranger, the old man appeared enraptured and said some words, which Agatha endeavored to explain to Safie, and by which he appeared to wish to express that she bestowed on him the greatest delight by her music. The day is now passed as peaceably as before, with the sole alteration that joy had taken place of sadness in the countenances of my friends. Safie was always gay and happy. She and I improved rapidly in the knowledge of language, so that in 2 months I began to comprehend most of the words uttered by my protectors. In the meanwhile, also, the black ground was covered with herbage and green banks interspread with innumerable flowers, sweet to the scent and the eyes, stars of pale radiance among the moonlight woods. The sun became warmer, the nights clear and balmy. Yes. No, gay means happy. Gay is like a great happiness or joy. Not gay in the past was not used to mean what it is today. They're talking about the happy. It's another word for happy. Oh my gosh. No. Oh, here we go. Something more nice came, and my nocturnal rambles were an extreme pleasure to me. Although they were considerably shortened by the late setting and early rising of the sun. I only do it once in a while when I feel like it. But honestly, guys, I really am trying to read to you, and I'm really getting distracted, and it's kind of it kind of makes me not want to really stream now. It was funny, and now it's just not. And it's easy for me to get tired really easily, and I really want to read this to you guys, and I can only max read this for about 2 hours, and I'm already getting tired. Yeah, no, it's okay for you guys to be chaotic. I don't mind it, but there is a limit to it as well. And I'm starting. Like, I don't mind mild distractions, but I was like really trying to read it, and yeah. Because, guys, we've only gotten through 2 pages. It has been almost an hour. We have only gotten to, like, about 3 pages. Seriously. Need a limit breaker. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I'll probably take a break, maybe about... Because we're going to read 5 chapters today in order to finish this. Maybe after the 3rd chapter I read, I'll take a break to eat and chillax a bit, and then I'll come back. Gotta recharge the battery a little bit, you know? Anyways. Raised pale my nocturnal rambling, although they were considerably shortened by the late setting and early rising of the sun. For I never ventured abroad during daylight, fearful of meeting with the same treatment I had formerly endured in the first village when which I entered. My days were spent in close attention, but were spent that I might more speedily master the language, and I may boast that I improved more rapidly than the Arabian, who understood very little and conversed in broken accents, while I comprehended and could imitate almost every word that was spoken. While I improved in speech, I also learned the science of letters, as it was taught to the stranger, and this opened before me a wide field for wonder and delight. The book from which Felix instructed Safi was Volney's Ruins of Empires. I should not have understood the purport of this book had not Felix, in reading it, given every minute explanations. He had chosen this work, he said, because the declamatory style was framed in imitation of the Eastern authors. Although his work, I obtained a curious knowledge of history and a view of the several empires at present existing in the world. It gave me an insight into manners, governments, and religions of the different nations of the earth. I heard of the soulful, oh my gosh. I'm going to butcher this all because they had different ways of saying these words. So instead of Asian, they have soulful Asianitics of the spontaneous genius and mental activity of the Grecians, which is Greeks, of the wars and sorrowful venture of Romans, at least Romans doesn't change, of their subsequent degenerating, of the decline of the mighty empire, of chivalry, Christianity, and kings. I heard of discovery of the Americas hemisphere, and went with Safi over the hapless fate of its origin and of its original inhabitants. Wait. In a book long ago, even they talked about the atrocities that happened in America with Native American with the natives. Oh my gosh, that makes sense. That makes sense. Because someone has to go, hey yo, what the hell are you doing out down there? These wonderful narrations inspired me with strange feelings. Was man indeed at once so powerful, so victorious and magnificent, yet so vigorous and base? He appeared at one time a mere scion of the evil principle, and at another as all that can be conceived as noble and godlike. To a great and victorious man appeared the highest honor that can befall a sensitive being. To be base and vicious, as many on record have been, appeared the lowest degradation, a condition more adjacent than that of the blind mole or harmless worm. For a long time I could not conceive how one man could go forth to murder his fellow, or even why there were laws and governments. But when I heard details of vice and bloodshed, my wonder ceased, and I turned away with disgust and loathing. He's literally like, wow, humans being fucked up. Sorry, I cursed. Okay, give me a bonk. I'll give myself a bonk for that. Should I? You know what? Every time I curse, every time I break the curse cycle, I will play, what do I, you know what? I don't think there's anything that's saying that. I don't know. I don't have anything set up for it. Do I have a dummy? No, I don't have a dummy asset, unfortunately, for streaming. Ah, who cares? So, excuse me. Oh my god. Well, the balk is supposed to be on me, but because of how situations are, unfortunately, it does not work. But we will say that that bonk was for me. Every conversation of the cottager, every conversation of the cottagers now opened new wonders to me. While I listened to the instructions which Felix bestowed upon the Arabian, the stranger system of human society was explained to me. I heard of the division of property, of immense wealth and squaddle poverty, of rank, descent, and noble blood. The words induced me to turn towards myself. I learned that the possessions most esteemed by your fellow creatures were high and unsolicited and unsullied descent united with riches. A man might be respected with only one of these advances, but without either, he was considered, except in every rare instances, as a vagabond and a slave, doomed to waste his powers for the profits of the chosen few. And what was I? Of my creation and creator, I was absolutely ignorant. But I knew that I possessed no money, no friends, no kind of property. I was besides endued with a figure hideously deformed and loathsome. I was not even of the same nature as man. I was more agile than they could and more than they could oh my god subsist upon coarser diet. I bore the extremes of heat and cold with less injury to my frame. My stature far exceeded theirs. When I looked around, I saw and heard of none like me. Was I, then, a monster? A bolt upon the earth, from which all men fled, whom all men disowned? I cannot describe to you the agony that these reflections inflicted upon me. I tried to dispel them, but sorrow only increased with knowledge. Oh, that I had for every remaining in my native wood, and nor known nor felt beyond the sensations of hunger, thirst, and heat. Of what strange nature is knowledge! It clings to the mind when it has once seized on it, like a lichen on the rock. I wish sometimes to shake off all through the feeling but I learned that there was but one means to overcome the sensation of pain, and that was death. A state which I feared yet did not understand. I admired virtue and good feelings, and loved the gentle manners and admirable quality of those of the cottagers. But I was shut out from intercourse with them, except through the means which I obtained by stealth, when I was unseen and unknown, and which rather increased than satisfied the desire I had of becoming one among my fellows. The gentle words of Agatha and the animated smiles of the charming Arabian were not for me. The mild exorberations of the old man and the lively conversation of the loved Felix were not for me. A miserable, unhappy wretch. Other lessons were impressed upon me even more deeply. I heard of the difference of sexes, the birth and growth of children, how the father doted on the smiles of the infant, and the lively sallies of the old child. How all the life and cares of the mother were wrapped up in the precious change. How the mind of youth expanded and gained knowledge of brother, sister, and all various relationships which bind one human being to another in mutual bonds. But where were my friends and relations? No father had watched my infant days. No mother had blessed me with smiles and caresses. Or if they had, all my past life was now a bolt. A blind vacancy in which I distinguished nothing. From my earliest remembrance, I had been as then, was in the height and proportion. I had never yet seen a being resembling me, or who claimed my intercourse with me. What was I? The question again recurred, to be answered only with groans. I will soon explain, too, what these feelings tended. But allow me to now return to the cottagers, whose story excited me such various feelings of indignation, delight, and wonder, but which all terminated in additional love and reverence for my protectors. For so I loved in an innocent, half playful, half deceit to call them. Chapter 6. Ayo. There's 9 chapters, by the way, so we have like, you know, in volume 2 there's 9 chapters. And yes, I have read ahead. I'm literally on the next volume. So, chapter 6. Some time elapsed before I learned the history of my friends. It was one which could not fail to impress itself deeply on my mind, unfolding as it did a number of circumstances, each interesting, wonderful to one so utterly inexperienced as I was. The name of the old man was de Lacy. He was descended from a good family in France, where he had lived for many years in affluence, respected by his superiors and beloved by his equals. His son was bred in the service of his country, and Agatha had ranked with ladies of the highest dissertation. There you go. She was a fair lady. That was a part of... I don't know where I was going with that. A few months before my arrival, they had lived in a large, luxurious city called Paris, surrounded by friends and possessed of every enjoyment which virtue refined of intellect or taste, accompanied by a moderate fortune and could afford. You know, I just realized if they were in Paris, technically, you can imagine it. They probably all looked similar to how, I don't know if anyone has ever watched Bridgerton and the clothes they wear. I'm betting it will look very similar. That's probably how they looked or how they dressed, very similarly. The father of Safi had been the cause of their ruin. He was a Turkish merchant and inhabited Paris for many years, when for some reason which I could not learn, he became obnoxious to the government. He was seized, cast into prison, smoking a baguette. Traveled. Oh, buongiorno, no sleep. Oh my gosh. You know, I had a friend that did French once. That's what they took. I took Spanish. Spanish was much more, but they took French. And I was like, French would have been cool, but when am I gonna use it? I'm not going to France. And then the next year I went to France. Oh my gosh. You guys have your little spout while you have your little bout while I do this. Oh my gosh, just freaking charging. Hey, Daiko!
Wanna know the best way to build
We already got a duel going on.
Meetup makes it easy to connect with people to do anything you love to do.
Anyway, so Safi was the reason. He was a Turkish merchant. He was seized and cast into prison the very day that Safi arrived from Constantinople to join him.
To get started.
He was tried and condemned for death. The injustice of his sentence.
At the Los Angeles
Ooh.
a division of the LA Film School,
Well fought, well fought.
in either audio
A well fought battle for you
or
all.
100% online. Wherever you see yourself, at the LA Recording School, it's all about you. Your creations, your sounds, your future. The world is waiting for you.
Yeah.
Learn more. Visit LA Recording
He was tried and condemned to death. The injustice of his sentence was very flagrant. All Paris was indignant, and it was judged that his religion and wealth, rather than the crime alleged against him, and had been the cause of his condemnation. Oh my gosh. So, if you guys don't understand what's going on right now, literally, Paris was very religious, and they're like, we don't like you being a Turkish person from this place. So, we're gonna jail you for it. The funny thing is, this still happens in France. Which is, France has not changed much. Now, I'm not saying that they're so blatant about it, of course, but... I mean, we do it here, too, so... A lot of problems. A lot of problems everywhere in the world. And you know what? I want to blow my nose. I have a stuffy nose. There is something blooming. But also it can be from me just over talking. I don't know why this happens. So hold on, I'm gonna just mute myself. There we go. Sometimes you just gotta blow your nose, you know? Anyways. Felix had accidentally been present at the trial. His horror and indignation were uncontrollable when he heard the decision of the court. He made at the moment a solemn vow to deliver him, and then looked around for the means. After many fruitless attempts to gain admittance to the prison, he found a strongly gated window in an unguarded part of the building, which lighted the dungeon to the unfortunate Mahometan. I don't know how to pronounce Turkish names. I have a cat on my lap and cars on the screen. It's a good day. Hey, yo, nice. Mahometan, who, loaded with chains, waited in despair the execution of the barbarous sentence. Oh no, Vietnam flashbacks happening with that. Oh god, Master Duel Vietnam flashbacks. No one, if you guys want to do a pick the game, never ever tell me to do Master Duel. Master Duel is banned on my channel now. It was awful. It was an awful experience. Anyways, the sentence. It definitely isn't for everyone. Felix visited the gate at night and made known to the prisoner his intentions in his favor. The Turk, amazed and delighted, endeavored to kindle the zeal of his deliverer by promise of reward and wealth. Felix rejected his offers with contempt. Yet, when he saw the lovely Safi, he was allowed to visit her father, and who, by her gesture, expressed her lovely gratitude. The youth could not help owing to his own mind that the captive possessed a treasure which could fully reward his toil and hazard. Try dueling you? Wait, yeah, it's not gonna happen. The Turk quickly perceived the impression that his daughter had made on the heart of Felix, and endeavored to secure him more entirely in his interest by the promise of her hand in marriage, so soon as he would be conveyed to a place of safety. Felix was too delicate to accept his offer, yet he looked forward to the probability of the event as to the consumption of his happiness. Hello, welcome in. How's it going? It's going good. How are you, Reverse? Was it Reverse Module? Hello, Reverse. Welcome. We're currently reading Frankenstein. We are currently on chapter 6 of volume 2 of the book. Nice. Yes. We are all true Giga Chads here. You want to know why we're all true Giga Chads? Because we enjoy reading. That's why we're true Giga Chads. Chilling after game dev? Ooh. Game dev. Nice. Are you chilling after some game dev? Are you a game developer? Or... shit. Yes, everyone in my chat, true Giga Chads. If you follow, you're a Giga Chad. Oh, cool. I'm a prop artist, actually, in my professional work. I went to school as a 3D artist. So I do prop art. And now I'm a VTuber that reads to my chat. That's all Giga Chads. Yeah, here, let me... Cause I can't read. I'm the true Giga Chad with my stuff. Hold on. I think, yeah. I am a professional. That's my professional portfolio, and then I have like an Instagram and everything. On my Instagram, I have more stuff as well. I don't do as much anymore. Because I'm mainly focused on doing other just art stuff and VTubing stuff. I will say I switched over to now just making 2D props and stuff for VTubers. So, being a VTuber myself, I made this Pachita. So, maybe I might make a 3D Pachita if I get good at doing some other stuff. But yeah. But now I'm curious. I'm curious at what you're making for games and stuff. But yeah, I do a lot of yeah, Greek mythos. Yeah, I'm insane. I don't like to play spooky games. Yeah, that cyberpunk stuff was for my thesis for getting my degree. So yeah. So I actually have a degree in game art and design with an emphasis on the art style and a specialty in prop art and doing props. I'm a Greek guy making a science fiction fantasy RPG about a utopia. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's really cool. Oh, do you like the Greek mythos cyberpunk? I'm a Greek mythos fan. I have so many books on just Greek mythos alone. I'm obsessed. I'm slightly obsessed. Yeah. I want to get an emulator of LBX. I don't know what LBX is. I feel like I should know, but I don't know. But yeah. I will say, out of all the things I created, I think the mushroom stuff I created, and also the fun games for 3DS. And no, I don't think you should know. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I feel like sci-fi and weird concepts. I think you might like our game. Ooh! I think I will. I do like sci-fi. And as long as it's a tasteful, interesting concept, yeah.
We're California's Department of Financial Protection and Innovation, and we can help.
Mushroom dance. Mushroom. Yeah. If you here, let me put it in chat again.
Earn your doctor of physical therapy in just 7 semesters.
If you guys do want to go and check out my professional work, it does have my professional legal name on there. I do not mind if you guys know my real name. Honestly, I don't care. Because eventually it's gonna be found out anyways. So it's like, I don't care. It's really, really good. Okay, okay. Honestly. Thanks. Yeah, so if you guys want to go, if any of my other chat wants to go and check out my professional work, you can, and you can take a look for yourself. I also have animations I made. This is all work I did at school, at my university, so you can kind of see the full thing of what I have done. It was pretty fun. And now I just do VTuber stuff, so. Which I do like. I do enjoy it. I'm making things that make people happy, so that's my one goal. I actually have some spooky goth stuff. Yeah, game dev is awesome. Yeah. I have a few friends that are really into that did game development. I was actually the only game artist that graduated. Everyone else was were game developers. Or game designers, yeah. And they design their own games and stuff. Maybe I'll show them. If I have to ask them. I have to ask them for permission to stream it. Yeah. Anyways, we got a little bit off topic, but yeah. But it was really nice to meet you, Reverse. You coming and chilling to. Well, if you ever want the stream. Yes, can you give me the stream page? Can you give me the Steam page, please? I will definitely go and put that in my thing right now. Or like just here, let me open Steam really quickly. Just give me the name and I will go and add it to my wish list right now. There you go. Yes, I would like it. You can put. No. Oh, of course it is. Oh, hold on. Oh, I see it. Oh, I see. Here, let me just add to wish list. There we go. Let me follow. Yeah, I see it. Let me see. In action, it is an action RPG about Utopia, a balance that aims to present some interesting concepts. The aim of the game is to make a player think and pose some social ethical dilemmas. Ooh, okay. Okay, we're getting we're getting psychological. Ooh, ah. Yeah, of course. If there's ever a game developer, like a small indie or game developer that is ever comes into my chat and they like are talking about games and stuff, yeah, I'll take a look at it. I'll play it. I'll play it on stream probably. When it comes out, I'll probably try and play it on stream. And I will say, I'm a pretty harsh critic about games and stuff. I'm gonna tell you, I'm a person that will try and break your game at times. So that's my purpose. Yeah, the beginning of the story is about the game section. Check it out. Yeah. It does look interesting. Like, you know, you're still working on it, so yeah. I will say, if I start shitting on your game, don't worry about it. It doesn't mean that it's complete garbage. I will always say that your game isn't garbage. It's just like, this is how I personally feel like there could be some fixes. Because I look at it as a thing of like, oh, what is going on right now? Oh, we went to the store. Hey. Now I know why my mod isn't in chat. Shitting on it will make it better. No. It's you know, it's still an early development, so I'm not gonna like be mean to you or anything. It's more just like, I'll probably complain about controls or something like that. Usually, one thing always with a lot of games I complain about is controls. And also, I'm an idiot. Yeah, I'm also an idiot. I need some direction. If a game doesn't give me direction, I get bored very easily. That's the one thing. Then there's some people that want no direction, so it's like, you know, turning that on and off would be a good option for people. That's one thing. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. We're trying to finish this. Maybe when I'm doing like a drawing stream, or actually I'm playing Five Nights at Freddy's on Monday. Maybe when doing something else, if you want to talk about like game stuff and things like that, we can talk about it. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
Hello there.
Oh, thank you for the follow. Hello there. Some people want to watch. Yes, thank you for that. Thank you. Want to watch the world burn. Yes, some gamers do want to watch the world burn. If you allow your players to be able to do as much as they personally want within their own agency and have fun with it, that's a good game to me. I think someone made a game where it was, you had to discover like a mystery. One person made like a racing car game and a few other things. So yeah, it is. Well, enjoy your break with me reading the rest of Frankenstein to you. So I do hope that you enjoy this break from your stuff. So where were we? Oh yes. I'm gonna just start. Yeah, consumption of his own happiness. Yeah. During the ensuing days, while the preparations were going forward for the escape of the merchant, the zeal of Felix was warmed by several letters that he had received from this lovely girl, who found means to express her thoughts in the language of her lover by the aid of an old man, a servant of her father, who understood French. She thanked him in the most ardent terms for his intended services towards her parent, and at the same time she gently developed her own fate. I have copies of these letters, for I found means during my residence in the hovel to produce the implements of writing, and the letters were often in the hands of Felix or Agatha. Before I depart, I will give them to you. They will prove the truth of my tale, but at present, as the sun is already far declined, I shall only have time to repeat the substance of them to you. Safi related to her mother was a Christian Arab, seized and made a slave by the Turks. Recommended by her beauty, she had won the heart of the father of Safi, who married her. The young girl spoke in high and enthusiastic terms of her mother, who, born in freedom, spurred the bondage to what she was now reduced. She instructed her daughter in the terms of her religion, and taught her to aspire to higher powers of intellect and independence of spirit forbidden to the female followers of Muhammad. Oh, Muhammad. His name is Muhammad. Oh my gosh. I'm so stupid. It takes me a while to get these names because all these names are not names I'm completely familiar with sometimes. Even though I went to school with like a few people that had names that were this. Oh my gosh. I know how to say their names. I never looked at their actual names to know how to spell them right. The lady died, but her lessons were undoubtedly impressed on the mind of Safi. Yes. Yes, laugh at my poor misspellings. Trust me, I never clarify that I'm smart. I'm an artist, I'm not smart. We're creative, we're not smart. I say as I have a bunch of books in a bookshelf next to me. But they are mainly art books and mangas, so I don't know what that says. My name is really hard, so no worries at all. Good. Well, reverse is easy to get you. At least with your username, it's easy. So I never have to worry about me butchering your name. I'm not creative and people think I'm an artist. And, yeah. There's some times where people are like, that's so creative. How did you think of that? I'm like, I'm not creative. I just like, it's like just logical to think about, isn't it? Rev even is fine. Yeah, Rev. We all might be Giga Chads, but we all share a singular brain cell. And sometimes we fight for it. Oh my gosh, me and some other VTubers, we all share a singular brain cell together sometimes, and sometimes we have to share it between us all, or we have to fight to the death in order to conquer it. To conquer the single brain cell. Look, Pochita is literally how my brain is right now. Pochita is the look at this face. That's me right now. Yeah. Anyway. Anyways, this lady died, but her mind of Safi sickened at the prospect of again returning to Asia and being immured within the walls of a harem, allowed only to occupy herself with the inflamed and amusements ill-suited to the temper of her soul. Now accustomed to the grand ideas and a noble evaluation of virtue, this prospect of marrying a Christian and remaining in a country where women were allowed to take a rank in society was enchanting to her. The day for the execution of the Turk was fixed, but on the night previous to it he quitted his prison, and before morning was distant many leagues from Paris. Felix had procured passports in his name, in the name of his father, sister, and himself. He had previously communicated his plan to the former, who aided the direct by quitting his house under the pretense of a journey, and concealed himself with his daughter in an obscure part of Paris. Felix conducted the fugitives through France to Lyons, and across Mount Science to Leghorn, where the merchant had decided to wait favorable opportunity of passing into some part of the Turkish dominions. Safi resolved to remain with her father until the moment of his departure, before which time the Turk renewed his promise that she should be united to his deliverer. But Felix remained with them in the expectation of that event, and in the meantime he enjoyed the society of the Arabian, who exhibited towards him the slightest and tenderest affection. They conversed with one another through the means of interpreter, sometimes with the interpretation of looks, and Safi sang to him the divine airs of her native country. The Turk allowed the intimacy to take place, and encouraged the hopes of the youthful lovers, while in his heart he had formed far other plans. He loathed the idea that his daughter should be united to a Christian, but he feared resentment of Felix if he would appear lukewarm, for he knew that he was still in the power of his deliverer. If he should choose to betray him to the Italian state, which they inhabited. My tooth is killing me. I think I'm gonna take a painkiller. I'm impatient. Yeah! Yeah, it'd be cool to have you in chat again. Especially on Monday. I'm gonna need it. I'm gonna need tips and tricks from a fellow game dev to how to beat Five Nights at Freddy's. Oh my gosh. Because on Friday we're playing FNAF. I want to die with that one. Yeah, for all those that don't know, I will be a stretch. Hey yo, we not turning into shrimps here. No, we do not want to get a shrimp back. We want a nice back. FNAF. Yeah, we play in FNAF, Daiko, not Daiko. I don't know why I keep fucking messing up your name. Yes, Daiko, we are playing FNAF. I'm playing FNAF on Monday, at 4. I don't want to play it. I don't. I really don't. If it gets too much, I will be switching over to a nice, wholesome game. Stardew Valley. We'll switch to Stardew Valley. I'll take a break in Stardew for like a bit, and then we'll probably go back to FNAF. But my main goal is to try and get to complete Night 5 of FNAF. No, I am not doing Night 6, and no, I am not doing custom night. No, I am not. You can't make me. Anyways. To betray him to the Italian state which they inhabited. He revolved 1,000 plans by which he should be enabled to prolong the deceit until it might be no longer necessary, and secretly took his daughter with him when he departed. His plans were facilitated by the news which arrived from Paris. The government of France were greatly enraged at the escape of their victim, and spared no pains to deceit and punish his deliverer. The plot of Felix was quickly discovered, and Delancey and Agatha were thrown into prison. The news reached Felix and roused him from his dream of pleasure. His blind and aged father and his gentle sister lay in a noisome dungeon, while he enjoyed the free air and society of her whom he loved. This idea was torture to him. He quickly arranged with the Turk that if the latter should find favorable opportunity for escape before Felix could return to Italy, Safi could remain as a boarder at a convent at Leon, and then quitting the lovely Arabian, he hastened to Paris and delivered himself to the vengeance of the law, hoping to free Delancey and Agatha. By this proceeding, he did not succeed. They remained confined for 5 months before the trial took place, the result of which deprived them of their fortune and condemned them to perpetual exile from their native country. They found a miserable asylum in the cottage in Germany, where I discovered them. Felix soon learned that the treacherous Turk, for whom he and his family endured such unheard of oppression, on discovering that his deliverer was thus reduced to poverty and ruin, became a traitor to good feeling and honor, and had quitted Italy with his daughter, instantly sending Felix a pittance of money to aid him. And, as he said, in some plan of future maintenance. Such were the events that he preyed on the heart of Felix and rendered him, when I first saw him, the most miserable of this family. He could have endured poverty, and while his distress had been the meed of his virtue, he gloried in it. But the ingratitude of the Turk and the loss of his beloved Safi was misfortunes more bitter and irreparable. The arrival of the Arabian now infused new life into his soul. When the news reached Leghorn that Felix was deprived of his wealth and rank, the merchant condemned his daughter to think no more of her lover, but to prepare to return to their native country. The generous nature of Safi was outraged by this command. She attempted to exfoliate with her father, but he felt her anger, retreating this tyrannical mandate. A few days after, the Turk entered his daughter's apartment and told her hastily that she had reason to believe that his residence at Leghorn had been divulged, and that she could speedily be delivered up to the French government. He had consequently hired a vessel to convey him to Constantinople, for which city he should sail in a few hours. He intended to leave his daughter under the care of the confidential servant, to follow at her leisure with the greater part of his property, which had not yet arrived at Leghorn. When alone, Safi resolved in her own mind the plan of conduct that it would become her to pursue in this emergency. A resident in Turkey was abhorrent to her. Her religion and her feelings were alike averse to it. By some papers of her father which fell into her hands, she heard of the exile of her lover, and relearned the name of the spot where he had resided. She hesitated some time, but at length she formed her determination. Taking with her some jewels and that belonged to her and a sum of money, she quitted Italy with an attendant, a native Leghorn, but who understood the common language of Turkey, and departed for Germany. She arrived in safety at the town about a few leagues from the cottage of Delancey, when her attendant fell dangerously ill. Safi nursed her with the most devoted affection, but the poor girl died, and the Arabian was left unaccompanied with the language of a country was left alone, unacquainted with the language of a country, and utterly ignorant of the customs of the world. She fell, however, into good hands. The Italian had mentioned the name of the spot for which they were bound, and after her death, the woman of the house in which they had lived took care that Safi would arrive in the safety of the cottage of her lover. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna take my own stretch for that. Oh my gosh. Ayo. Guys, we're on the next chapter. Woo! Woohoo! This is gonna be a 3-hour stream, isn't it? Usually these are 2 hours, but considering like our little derailments at the beginning, I think yeah. What I might do is I'll read this chapter, and then I will sit here and we can talk and relax for a bit as I eat my chewy granola bar that's a s'mores, and talk for a bit and get my energy back, and then we'll read the next 2 chapters. There we go. Gotta scratch. So this is chapter 7. And then we have 8 and 9 to read as well. Such was the history of my beloved cottagers, and impressed me deeply. I learned from the views of social life which it developed, to admire their virtues and so deprecate the vices of mankind. As yet I looked upon crime as a distant evil. Benevolence and generosity were ever present before me, inciting within me a desire to become an actor in the busy scene where so many admirable qualities were called forth and displayed. But in giving an account of the progress of my intellect, I must not omit a circumstance which occurred in the beginning of the month of August of the same year. One night during my accustomed visit to the neighboring wood, where I collected my own food and brought home firing to my protectors, I found on the ground a leathern portmanteau containing several articles of dress and some books. I eagerly seized the prize and returned with it to my hovel. Fortunately, the books were written in the language, the elements of which I had acquired at the cottage. They consisted of Paradise Lost, a volume of Pulter's Lives, and The Sorrows of Winter. The possession of these treasures gave me extreme delight. I now continually studied and expressed my mind upon these histories, whilst my friends were employed in their ordinary occupations. Oh wait, quick! I gotta ask you a quick question. We are probably going to finish reading Frankenstein in the next 2 readings. Would you guys like me to continue the Saturday readings with a little bit of a Christmas tale? Because I will not be streaming during December. I'm taking the month of December off. So would you guys like me to read to you all a Christmas Carol? Because I actually did get a Christmas Carol for free from a project. I forget what the name of it. I gotta look it up again. But I can read that to you guys. Yes? Okay. The great thing is I have it on digital, so it'll be probably a little bit easier for me to read, besides holding up a book. So. Little Match Girl? Hey, yo, I'm not reading Little Match Girl. I cry every time I read. I read or watch The Little Match Girl. Oh my gosh. No. I can't. I have a heart. Yeah, I can't do that one. But, you know, I figure to keep with the Victorian Gothic theme that we have going on, we'll do that. And then I might do a poll for, like, what you guys want me to read I have to keep in mind, they have to be books that are in the public domain. So yeah. Wait. Hold on. Is War of the Worlds in the public domain? Hold on, I need to look this up. H.G. Wells. War of the Worlds. When was this written? When was War of the Worlds written? 1898. I think it's in the public. I mean, it was written almost over over 100. Yes, it's in the public domains. Nice. It is in the public domain. I know because there's a YouTube video of it. There's a full reading. Or no, this is that's a breakdown. All these are an audiobook. And it's available for free. Okay, yeah, Hey, a card just popped out on my screen. And its name was Latency. Appropriate for me. Oh my gosh, yes.
iPhone 14 Pro. So people who love
Yeah, so I got that, and then maybe we can read like some interesting. I will say Paradise Lost, which is referenced in here, is actually a book that I have wanted to read. I think that you guys all might find it enjoyable as well, but Paradise Lost is basically a lot of things that happens from the point of view of Satan. Do you guys all know Lucifer, like Hot Lucifer, right? The origins of Hot Lucifer come from literally Paradise Lost. I could also read Dante's Inferno, but that's a It is! Genuinely it is! A lot of like things that have to do with angelic fiction and all of that are literally just Bible fan fiction. Anyways, let's see what happened within the same year of August, right? Oh yeah, they got the books. I can hardly describe to you the effect of these books. They produced in me an infinity of new images and feelings that sometimes raised me to ecstasy, but more frequently sunk me into the lowest dejection. In this Wars of Wetterer, besides the interest of its simple and affecting story, so many opinions are canvassed. Oh my gosh, canvassed, yes, canvassed, and so many lights thrown upon what had hitherto been to me obscure subjects, that I found in it a never-ending source of speculation and astonishment. The gentle and domestic manners it described combined with loafy sentiments and feelings, which had for their object something out of self, according well with my experience among my protectors, and with the wants which were forever alive in my own bosom. But I thought Wetterer himself a more divine being than I had ever beheld or imagined. His character contained no pretension, but it sunk deep. The what? I'm thinking discretions. Discretions. What? Upon death and suicide were calculated to fill me with wonder. I did not pretend to enter into the merits of the cause, yet I inclined toward the opinions of the hero, and whose extinction I wept, without precisely understanding it. As I read, however, I applied much personality to my own feelings and condition. I found myself similar, yet at the same time strangely unlike to the beings concerning who I read, and to whose conversations I was a listener. I sympathized with and partly understood them, but I was unformed in mind. I was dependent on none, and related to none. The path of my departure was free, and there was none to laminate my annihilation. My person was hideous and my stature gigantic. What did this mean? Who was I? What was I? Where hence did I come from? What was my destination? These questions continually reoccurred, but I was unable to solve them. The volume of Pletcher's Lives, which I possessed, contained the histories of the first founders of the ancient republics. This book had a far different effect upon me from the sorrows of Werther. I learned from Werther's imaginations despondency and gloom. From Peltacci taught me high thoughts. He elevated me above the wretched sphere of my own reflections to admire and love the heroes of past ages. Many things I read surpassed in understandings and experience. I had a very confused knowledge of kingdoms, of kingdoms, wide events of country, mighty rivers, and boundless seas. But I was perfectly unacquainted with towns and large assemblies of men. The cottage of my protectors had been the only school in which I had studied human nature. But this book developed new and mightier scenes of action. I read of men concerned in public affairs, governing or massacring their species. I felt the greatest abhorrence for virtue rise within me, and abhorrence for vice, far as I understood the significance of those terms, relate as they were as I applied them. To pleasure and pain alone, I induced by these feelings, I was of course led to admire peaceable lawgivers, Numa, solemn, and Lycurgus, in preference to Romulus and Theseus. The particular lives of my protectors caused these impressions to take a firm hold on my mind. Perhaps my first introduction to humanity had been made by a younger soldier during for glory and slaughter. I should have been imbued with different sensations. But Paradise Lost excited different and far deeper emotions. I read it, as I had read the other volumes which had fallen into my hands, as a true history. It moved every feeling of wonder and awe that the picture of an omnipotent God warning with his creatures was capable of exciting. I often referred the several sensations as their similarity struck me to my own. Like Adam, I was apparently united by no link to any other being in existence. But his state was far different from mine in every other respect. He had come forth from the lands of a god, a perfect creature, happy and prosperous, graded by the especial care of his creator. He was allowed to converse with the acquired knowledge, form beings of a superior nature, but I was wretched, helpless, and alone. Many times I considered Satan as the fitter emblem of my condition, for often, like him, when I viewed the bliss of my protectors, the bitter gall of envy rose within me. Another circumstance strengthened and confirmed these feelings. Soon after my arrival in the hovel, I discovered some papers in the pocket of the dress which I had taken from your laboratory. At first I had neglected them, but now that I was able to decipher the characters in which they were written, I began to study them with diligence. It was your journal of the 4 months that preceded my creation. You minutely described in these papers every step you took in the progress of your work. This history was mingled with the accounts of domestic occurrences. You doubtlessly recollect these papers. Here they are. Everything is related in them, which bears reference to my accursed origin. The whole detail that series of disgusting circumstances which produced it it is set in view. The minutest description of my obvious and loathsome person is given, in language which painted your own horrors and rendered mine indelibly. I sickened as I read. Hateful day when I received life. I examined in agony. Accursed creator! Why did you form a monster so hideous that even you turned from me in disgust? God, in pity, made man beautiful and alluring, after his own image. But my form is a filthy type of yours, more horrid, even more than very resemblance. Satan had his companions, fellow devils, to admire and encourage him, but I am solitary and abhorred. These were the reflections of my hours of despondency and solitude. But when I contemplated the virtues of the cottagers, their amiable and devoted dispositions, I persuaded myself that when they should become acquainted with my admiration of their virtues, they would compassionate me and overlook my personal deformity. Could they turn from their door one who, however monstrous, who solicited their companionship and friendship? I resolved, at least, not to despair, but in every way to fit myself for an interview with them, which would decide my fate. I postponed this attempt for some months longer, for the importance attached to its success inspired me with a dread lest I should fail. Besides, I found that my understanding improved so much with every day's experience that I was unwilling to commence this undertaking until a few more months should have added to my sagency. Several changes in the meantime took place in the cottage. The presence of Southey diffused happiness among its inhabitants, and I also found the greater degree of plenty regained there. Felix and I also found a greater degree of plenty. Felix and Agatha, thank you for the lyric. Felix and Agatha spent more time in amusement and conversation, and were assisted in their labors by servants. They did not appear rich, but they were contented. They were contented and happy. Okay, I think that means content and happy. Their feelings were serene and peaceful, while mine became every day more tumultuous. Increase of knowledge only discovered to me more clearly what a wretched outcast I was. I cherished hope, it is true, but it vanished when I beheld my person reflected in water, or my shadow in the moonshine, and when, as the frail image and most inconstant shade, I endeavored to crush these fears, and to fortify myself for the trial which in a few months I resolved to undergo. And sometimes I allowed my thoughts, unchecked by reason, to ramble in the fields of paradise, and dared to fancy admirable and lovely creatures sympathize with my feelings and sharing my gloom. Their angelic countenance breathed smiles of consolation, but it was all a dream. No Eve soothed my sorrows, nor shared my thoughts. I was alone. I remembered Adam's supplication to his Creator, but where was mine? He had abandoned me, and in the bitterness of my heart, I cursed him. Autumn passed thus. I saw with surprise and grief the leaves decay and fall. Nature again assumed the barren and bleak appearance it had worn when I first beheld the woods and the lovely moon. Yet I did not heed the bleakness of the weather. I was better fitted by my confirmation of the endurance of cold than heat. But my chief delights were the sight of flowers, the birds, and all the gay appeal of summer. When those deserted me, I turned with more attention towards the cottagers. Their happiness was not decreased by the absence of summer. They loved and sympathized with one another, and their joys depended on each other. Were not interpreted by the casualties that took place around them. The more I saw them, the greater became my desire to claim their protection and kindness. My heart yearned to be known and loved by these admirable creatures. To see their sweet looks directed towards me with affection was the utmost limit of my ambition. I dared not think that they would turn from me, and disdain and horror the poor that stopped at their door. were never driven away. I asked, it is true, for greater treasures than a little food or rest. I required kindness and sympathy, but I did not believe myself utterly worthless of it. The winter advanced. An entire revolution of the seasons had taken place since I awoke into life. My attention at this time was solely directed towards my plan of introducing myself into the cottagers of my protectors. I revolved many projects, but that one which I finally fixed was to enter the dwelling when the blind old man would be alone. I had saintly enough to discover that the unnatural hideousness of my person was the chief object of horror with those who had formerly beheld me. My voice, although harsh, had nothing terrible in it. I thought, therefore, that if in the absence of the children I could gain the goodwill and meditation of the old de Lacy, I might, by his means, be tolerated by my young protectors. Oh, so many stretches. Oh, wow, we are on 2 hours. Nice. We got 2 more. We got only like a little bit more in this, and then we got 2 more chapters. I can do this, especially considering that the last chapter is really super short. One day, when the sun shone on the red leaves that strewed the ground and diffused cheerfulness, although it detained warmth, Safie, Agatha, and Felix departed on a long country walk, and the old man, as his own desire, was left alone in the cottage. When his children had departed, he took up his guitar and played several mournful but sweet airs, more sweet and mournful than I had ever heard him play before. At first his countenance was illuminated with pleasure, but as he continued, thoughtfulness and sadness succeeded. At length, laying aside the instrument, he sat absorbed in reflection. My heart beat quick. This was the hour and moment of trial, which could decide my hopes or release my fears. The servants were gone to a neighboring fair. All was silent in and around the cottage. It was an excellent opportunity, yet when I proceeded to execute my plan, my limbs failed me, and I sank to the ground. Again I rose, and exerting all the firmness of which I was master, removed the planks which I had placed before my hovel to conceal my retreat. The fresh air revived me, which renewed my determination. I approached the door to the cottage and knocked. "Who's there?" said the old man. "Come in." I entered. "Pardon this intrusion," said I. "I am a fair traveller in want of a little rest." You would greatly obligate me if you would allow me to entertain a few minutes before the fire. "Enter," said de Lacy, "and I will try with what manners I can relieve your wants. But unfortunately, my children are far from home, and as I am blind, I am afraid I shall find it difficult to procure food for you." "Do not trouble yourself, my kind friend. I have food. It is warmth and rest only that I need." I sat down, and a silence ensued. I knew that every minute was precious to me, yet I remained irresolute in what manner to commence the interview, when the old man addressed me. "By your language, stranger, I suppose you are my countrymen? Are you French?" "No, but I was educated by a French family, and understand that language only." I am not going to claim the protection of some friends, who I sincerely love, and of whose favor I have some hopes. Are they Germans? No, they are French. But let us change the subject. I am an unfortunate and distressed creature. I look around and I have no relation or friend upon the earth. These admirable people to whom I go have never seen me and know little of me. I am full of fears, for if I fail there, I am an outcast in the world forever. Do not despair. To the friendless is indeed to be unfortunate. But the hearts of man, when unpredicted by an obvious self-interest, are full of brotherly love and charity. Rely, therefore, on your hopes, and if these friends are good and amiable, do not despair. They are kind. They are most excellent creatures in the world, but unfortunately, there are prejudices against me. I have good disposition. My life has been hitherto harmless and in some degree beneficial, but a fatal prejudice clouds their eyes, and where they ought to see a feeling and kind friend, they behold only a distressed monster. That is indeed unfortunate. But if you are really blameless, cannot you undeceive them? I am about to undertake that task, and it is on that account that I feel so many overwhelming terrors. I tenderly love these friends. I have, unknown to them, been for so many months in the habits of daily kindness towards them. But they believe that I wish to injure them, and it is that prejudice which I wish to overcome. Where do these friends reside? Near the spot. The old man paused and then continued. If you will unreservedly confide to me the particulars of your tale, I perhaps may be of use in undeceiving them. I am blind, cannot judge of your countenance, but there is something in your words which persuade me that you are sincere. I am poor and an exile, but it will afford me true pleasure to be in any way servable to a human creature. Excellent man! I thank you and accept your generous offer. You raise me from the dust of by this kindness. I trust that, by your aid, I shall not be driven from the society and sympathy of your fellow creatures. Heaven forbid, even if you were really criminal, for that can only deceive you to desperation, and not instigate you to virtue. I also am unfortunate. I and my family have been condemned, although innocent. Judge, therefore, I do not feel for you, for your misfortunes. How can I thank you? My best and only benefactor, from your lips first have I heard the voice of kindness directed towards me. I shall be forever grateful, and your present humanity assures me of success that with those friends whom I am on point of meeting. May I know the names and residence of those friends? I paused. This, I thought, was a moment of discussion, which was to rob me of, or bestow happiness on me forever. I struggled vainly for firmness sufficient to answer him, but the effect destroyed all remaining strength. I sank on the chair and sobbed aloud. At that moment I heard the steps of my younger protectors. I had no moment to lose, but seized the hand of the old man. I cried, "Now is the time! Save and protect me. You and your family are the friends whom I seek. Do not you desert me an hour of trial." "Good God!" exclaimed the old man. "Who are you?" At the instant the cottage door was opened, and Felix, Safi, and Agatha entered. Who can describe their horror and consternation on beholding me? Agatha fainted, and Safi, unable to attend to her friend, rushed out of the cottage. Felix darted towards me with supernatural force, tore me from his father, to whose knees I clung. In a transport of fury, he dashed me to the ground and struck me violently with a stick. I could have torn him limb from limb, as the lion renders the antelope, but my heart sunk within me with bitter sickness. I refrained. I saw him on the point of repeating his blow, when, overcome by pain and anguish, I quitted the cottage, and in general tumult escaped unperceived to my hovel. And yeah, so I'm gonna take a little bit of a break. Just put this aside. Yeah, we're taking a break on that. And then we only have 2 more chapters, and then we are done with volume 2. But yeah, so what do you guys think so far of hearing the monster's story? You know what's really funny is that, oh, I see. You know what's really funny is that there was a story that came out, apparently, of some college students, and I think high schoolers too. They had read Frankenstein, and they were just like, yeah, Frankenstein, the monster is actually not a bad person, even though that everybody like clarifies that the monster is bad, because you'll see eventually that the monster does confirm that he has killed somebody. But like, I mean, I'm opening up the granola bar. I'm grabbing my granola bar to eat. I have been cheated. There was like 1 marshmallow in this s'mores granola bar. I am cheated. What the hell? But anyways, so in the article it said that their teacher was trying to say like how the monster is evil, when they were like, no, Victor von Frankenstein is actually the evil one. The monster was created from his own like selfish ego. So it makes sense. Because literally, if Victor was not a selfish ego person on the precipice of knowledge all the time, probably wouldn't have made it. Also, can we talk about Frankenstein? So monster is a victim. If you think about it, the monster is a victim. He didn't ask to be created. And then, once he was already created, like, his master just completely abandoned him. The person that created him abandoned him because he was not, literally, I'm not even joking, the reason he was abandoned was because Victor von Frankenstein had built the monster to have the most beautifulest features. But then when resurrected, like, didn't keep those features, which actually, no, they did keep the features that they were given. It's just that he's basically revived from the dead, so he's not gonna look right. But I will say this much. Stuff only gets weirder from here. Like, the one thing about More Stories is, like, everything just starts to get weirder from here. A lot weirder. Very much weirder. And we will see that. It is... There's a lot of stuff in here. Anyways, I've eaten my granola bar. I've gotten some energy back. And actually, see me? Hey, yo, my dad was like that too! Well, actually, no. My dad really actually wanted nothing to do with me at all. And honestly, I don't know where he is. He tried to contact me when I was 16, and I was like, nah. Nah. You stay out of my life. I don't want you in it. But I don't think I have said this, but I actually was adopted by my same family. So I was like adopted within my family because my mother knew that she couldn't take care of me because she was too young. So she just, yeah. And now I play D&D with my bio mom. She's my DM. Man. I actually am going to take a little small quick break because I gotta go to the bathroom. So, yes, VTubers too. That's an interesting fact to come back to. Yeah, it's an interesting fact to revolve back to. But I'll be right back. George, watch him. Alright, and we're back. And hello, Jose. Welcome back. Welcome, welcome. Here, let me see. But yes, welcome. Hello. Yes, I am back too. Hello, hello. We are back. Just need to really take that break. And also going away from the screen actually did help my eyes a little bit. Because after a while of reading and also staring at a screen, yeah, the eye strain really is coming in clutch with this. I still need to go and get new glasses. I need to go to I need to go to the place and get glasses. I need to go there. But anyways, we are on chapter 8, and then we will be on chapter 9, and then we will be done. And volume 3, I think, has a few chapters in it. Let me see. How many chapters do we have so we can be able to associate them? Hold on. I think I missed a chapter title. Hold on. Let me see. Yeah, last night everything was blurry to me. I was working on some art. Yeah, that happens. Okay, so it has 8 chapters. Okay, so that's easy to divide 4 and 4. So we'll read 4 chapters. 4 chapters next Saturday, and then the week after will be the last ending of Frankenstein. And then we will be reading, I actually have it on my Kindle, or like Kindle app online. And then we'll be reading, actually, a funny thing is that the Nightmare not the Nightmare, A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens is, what? Oh, it's an updating. Is actually very short. I did not realize how short this book was. It's like a little over 100 pages. And I'm just like, what? Are you sure? Yeah, so I was just like, what? But yeah, it's only like 100 pages. Which is awesome. So yeah, and I can read it all on the Kindle, which makes it a little bit easier. Well, not on a Kindle, but I have it on my computer, so it'll make it a little bit easier to probably read, but then I'll be staring at a screen the entire time. So it might hurt my eyes a little bit more, but hey, it's okay. And considering that I sit here most of the time, I can just easily just read like some chapters ahead or whatever. So now we are on chapter 8. Oh wait, no, it doesn't have 8 chapters. It has 7 chapters. So we read 4 and then 3. So chapter 8. Cursed. Cursed creator. Why did I live? Why in that... Oh wait, I just realized I forgot to close my door. Oh, hold on. Hold on. I gotta close my door because I'm screaming. Because I'm screaming. You know what? I need to look really quick with it if this... I'll look at that. Why did I live? Why, in that instant, did I not extinguish the spark of existence which you had so wantingly bestowed? I know not. Despair had not yet taken passion of me. My feelings were those of rage and revenge. I could with pleasure have destroyed the cottage and its inhabitants, and have gutted myself with their shrieks and misery. When that night came, I quitted my retreat and wandered in the woods. And now, no longer restrained by the fear of discovery, I gave vent to my anguish in fearful howls. I was like a wild beast that had broken the toils, destroying the objects objects that obstructed me, and raging through the wood like a stag-like swiftness. Oh, what a miserable night I passed. The cold stars shone in mockery, and the bare trees waved their branches above me. Now and then the sweet voice of a bird burst first amidst the universal stillness. All, save I, were at rest or enjoyment. I, like an arch-fiend, bore a hell within me. Finding myself unsympathized with, wished to tear up the trees, spread havoc and destruction around me, and then to have sat down and enjoyed that ruin. But this was a luxury of sensation that could not endure. I became fatigued, and with excess of bodily erection, and sank on the damp grass in the sick impotence of despair. There was none among the myriads of men that existed who would pity or assist me, and should I feel kindness towards my enemies? No. From that moment I declared everlasting war against the species, and more than all against him who had formed me and sent me forth to this unsupportable misery. The sun rose, and I heard voices of men, and I knew that it was impossible to return to my retreat during the day. Accordingly, I hid myself in some thick underwood, determining to devote the ensuing hours to reflecting on my situation. The pleasant sunshine and the pure air of day restored me to some degree of tranquility. When I considered what had passed at the cottage, I could not help believing that I had been too hasty in my conclusions. I had certainly acted imprudently. It was apparent that my conversation had interested the father in my behalf, and I was a fool in having exposed my person to the horror of his children. I ought to have familiarized the old man Delancey to me, and by degrees to have discovered myself to the rest of the family, when they should have been prepared for my approach. But I did not believe my efforts to be irretrievable, and after much consideration I resolved to return to the cottage, seek the old man, and by my reparations win him to my party. Oh my gosh, what the heck? Why is my face tracking breaking?
With unlimited skips,
What is happening?
music listening, you can take your audio experience to new heights.
What's happening? Holy shit, my face tracking was like breaking. Holy shit. Oh, there you go. Oh my gosh. That was weird. Oh my gosh. That happens sometimes. Anyways. These thoughts calmed me, and in the afternoon I sank into a profound sleep. But the fever of my blood did not allow me to be visited by peaceful dreams. The horrible scene of the presented day was forever acting before my eyes. The females were flying, and the enraged Felix tearing me from his father's feet. I awoke exhausted, and finding it was already night, I crept forth from my hiding place and went in search of food. When my hunger was appeased, I directed my steps towards the well-known path that conducted to the cottage. All there was at peace. I crept into my hovel and remained in silent expectation of the accustomed hour when the family arose. The hour passed. The sun mounted high in the heavens, but the cottagers did not appear. I trembled violently, apprehending some dreadful misfortune. The inside of the cottage was dark, and I heard no motion. I cannot describe the agony of the suspense. Presently, 2 countrymen passed by, but pausing near the cottage, they entered into a conversation using violent gesticulations. But I did not understand what they said, as they spoke the language of the country, which differed from that of my protectors. Soon after, however, Felix approached with another man. I was surprised, as I knew that he had not quitted the cottage that morning, and waited anxiously to discover from his disclosure the meaning of these unusual appearances. And thank you for the wow. Wow, indeed. Uh-oh. Do you consider, said his companion to him, that you will be obligated to pay 3 months' rent and to lose the produce of your garden? I do not wish to take any unfair advantage. I beg, therefore, that you will take some days to consider of your determination. It is utterly useless, replied Felix. We can never inhabit your cottage. The life of my father is in greatest danger, owing to the dreadful circumstance that I have related. My wife and my sister will never recover from their horror. I entreat you not to reason with me any more. I take possession of your tenement, and let me fly from this place. Felix trembled violently as he said this. He and his companion entered the cottage, in which they remained for a few minutes and then departed. I never saw any of the family of De Lacy more. I continued for the remainder of the day in my hovel in a state of utter and stupid despair. My protectors had departed, and had broken the only link that held me to the world. For the first time, the feelings of revenge and hatred filled my bosom, and I did not strive to control them, but allowed myself to bore away by the stream. I bent my mind towards injury and death. When I thought of my friends, of the mild violence of voice of Delancey, the gentle eyes of Agatha, and the exquisite beauty of the Arabian, these thoughts vanished, and a gush of tears somewhat soothed me. But again, when I reflected that they had spurned and deserted me, anger returned, a rage of anger. And unable to injure anything human. I turned my fury towards inanimate objects. As night advanced, I placed a variety of combustibles around the cottage, and after having destroyed every vestige of civilization in the garden, I waited with forced impotence until the moon had sunk to commence my operations. As the night advanced, a fierce wind arose from the woods and quickly dispersed the clouds that had loitered in the heavens. The blast tore up. Jose, we're done. We're done with this. We are done with this. We are done with this. Stop it. We're literally on like the last 2 chapters. We're done. Okay? Because I can easily revoke those privileges of you being able to do sounds. Easily. all I have to do is just change it from 0 to 10 bits, and then you gotta pay 10 bits. You gotta pay me to use them. Anyways, sure, as the night advanced, the howling wind, the blast among them, like a mighty avalanche, and produced a kind of insanity in my spirits, but burst all bounds of reason and reflection. I lighted the dry branch of a tree and danced with fury around the devoted cottage, my eyes still fixed on the western horizon, the edge of which the moon nearly touched. A part of its orb was at length hid, and I waved my brand at, no, not 10 bits, make it 100. Yes. You're gonna have to pay me a full $1 in order to fucking use my sounds. There's actually a sound that I have that's a Five Nights at Freddy's scream, and I made that the most expensive thing ever because ain't no way that you're gonna scare me with that. You gotta pay 2,000 bits for it.
You can give some users the option to watch or listen. Head to anchor.fm/getstarted or just tap the banner to begin recording in minutes. Your story matters. Make a podcast with Anchor. That's
saying, and with a loud scream, I fired the straw and heath and brushes which I had collected. The wind fanned the fire, and the cottage was quickly enveloped by flames, which clung to it and licked it with their forked and destroying tongues. As soon as I was convinced that no assistance could save any part of the habitation, I quitted the scene and sought for refuge in the woods. And now, with the world before me, whither should I bend my steps? I resolved to fly far from the scene of my misfortunes, but to me, hated and despised, every country must be equally horrible. At length, the thought of you crossed my mind. I learned from your papers that you were my father, my creator, and to whom could I apply with more fitness than to him who had given me life? Among the lessons that Felix had bestowed upon me, upon Safi, geography had not been omitted. I had learned from these the relative situations of the different countries of the earth. You had mentioned Geneva as the name of your native town, and towards this place I resolved to proceed. But how was I to direct myself? I knew that I must travel in southwesterly direction to reach my destination, but the sun was my only guide. I did not know the names of the towns which I was passed through, nor could I ask of information from a single human being, but I did not despair. From you only could I hope to secure, although towards you I felt no sentiment but that of hatred. Unfeeling, heartless creator, you had endowed me with the perceptions and passions, and then cast me aboard an object for the scorn and horror of mankind. But on you only had I any claim for pity and redress. And from you I determined to seek that justice which I vainly attempted to gain from any other being that wore the human form. My travels were long, and the sufferings I endured intense. It was late in autumn when I quitted the distance where I had so long resided. I traveled only at night, fearful of encountering the visage of a human being. Nature declared around me, and the sun became heartless. Rain and snow poured around me. Mighty rivers were frozen. The surface of earth was hard and chill and bare, and I found no shelter. O earth, how often did I imprecate curses on the cause of my being. The mindless of my nature had fled, and all within me was turned to gale and bitterness. The nearer I approached to your habitation, the more deeply did I feel the spirit of revenge enkindled in my heart. Snow fell, and the waters were and the waters were hardened, but I resisted not. A few incidents now and then directed me, and I possessed a map of the country. But I often wandered wide from my path. The agony of my feelings allowed me no reprise. No incident occurred from which my rage and misery could not extract its food. But a circumstance that happened when I arrived on the confines of Switzerland. When the sun had recovered its warmth, the earth again began to green, confirmed in an especially manner the bitterness and horror of my feelings. I generally resisted during the day, and traveled only when I was secured by night from the view of man. One morning, however, finding that my path lay through a deep wood, I ventured to continue my journey after the sun had risen. The day, which was one of the first of spring, cheered even me by the loveliness of its sunrise and the balminess of the air. I felt emotions of gentleness and pleasure that had long appeared dead revive within me. Half surprised by novelty of these sensations, I allowed myself to be borne away by them, and forget my solitude and deformity. Dared to be happy. Soft tears again bedowed my cheeks, and I even raised my humid eyes with thankfulness towards the blessed sun, which bestowed such joy upon me. I continued to wind among the paths of the wood until I came to its boundary, which was skirted by a deep, rapid river, into which many of the trees bent their branches, now budding with fresh spring. Here I paused, not exactly knowing what path to pursue, when I heard the sound of voices that induced me to conceal myself under a shade of a cypress. I was scarcely hid when a young girl came running towards the spot where I was concealed, laughing as if she ran from one in sport. She continued her course along the perpetuous sides of the river, when suddenly her foot slid and fell into the rapid stream. I rushed from my hiding place, and with extreme labor from the force of the current, saved her, dragged her ashore. She was senseless, and I endeavored by every means in my power to restore animation, when I was suddenly interrupted by the approach of a rustic, who was probably the person from whom she had playfully fled. On seeing me, he darted towards me, and tearing the girl from my arms, hastened towards the deeper parts of the woods. I followed speedily, I hardly knew why. But when the man saw me draw near, he aimed a gun which he carried at my body, and fired. I sank to the ground, and my injurer, which increased swiftness, escaped into the wood.
With all the essential banking services you need, and all the great rates and yields you want, plus lots of convenient branches, and online and mobile banking options, so you can bank.
This was then the reward of my benevolence. I had saved a human being from destruction, and as a recompense, I now withered under the miserable pain of a wound which shattered the flesh and bone. The feelings of kindness and gentleness which I had entertained but a few moments before gave place to hellish rage and gnashing of teeth. Oh. Oh. Anyways. Skybot, you found a new avatar. Like the pink little dragon. Or dino. The ball had entered my shoulder, and I knew not whether it had remained there or passed through. At any rate, I had no means of extracting it. My sufferings were augmented also by the oppressive sense of injustice and ingratitude of their infliction. My daily vows rose for revenge, a deep and deadly revenge, such as would alone consummate for the outrages and anguish I had endured. After some weeks, my wound healed, and I continued my journey. The labors I endured were no longer to be alleviated by the bright sun or gentle breezes of spring. All joy was but a mockery which insulted my desolate state, and made me feel more painful that I was not made of the enjoyment of pleasure, but my toils now drew near a close, and in 2 months from this time I reached the envers of Geneva. It was evening when I arrived, and I retired to a hiding place among the fields that surrounded it, to meditate in the manner I should apply to you. I was opposed by fatigue and hunger, and too unhappy to enjoy the gentle breezes of evening, or the prospects of the sun setting behind the stupendous mountains of Jura. At this time, a slight sleep relieved me from the pain of reflection, which was disturbed by the approach of a beautiful child who came running into the recess I had chosen. With all the supportiveness of infancy, suddenly as I gazed on him, an idea seized me that this little creature was unprejudiced, and had lived too short a time to have embedded a horror of deformity. If therefore I could seize him and educate him as my companion and friend, I could not be so desolate in this peopled earth. Urged by this impulse, I seized on the boy as he passed and drew him towards me. As soon as he beheld my form, he placed his hands before his eyes and uttered a shrill scream. I drew his hand forcibly from his face and said, "Child, what is the meaning of this? I do not intend to hurt you. Listen to me." He struggled violently. "Let me go!" he cried. "Monster! Ugly wretch! You wish to eat me and tear me to pieces. You are an ogre. Let me go, or I will tell my papa." "Boy, you will never see your father again. You must come with me." "Horrid, hideous monster! Let me go. My papa is a syndic. He is Mr. Frankenstein. He will punish you. You dare not keep me." "Frankenstein? You belong then to my enemy, to him towards whom I have sworn eternal revenge? You shall be my first victim." The child struggled and loaded me with antithesis which carried despair to my heart. I grasped his throat and silenced him. In a moment he lay dead at my feet. I gazed on my victim with my heart swelled with exhilaration and hellish triumph. Clapping my hands, I exclaimed, "I too can create desolation. My enemy is not invulnerable. The death will carry despair to him, and 1,000 other miseries shall torment and destroy him." As I fixed my eyes on the child, I saw something glittering on his breast. I took it. It was a portrait of the most lovely woman. In spite of my melancholy, it softened and attracted me. For a few moments I gazed with delight on her dark eyes, fringed by deep lashes, and her lovely lips. But presently my rage returned. I remembered that I was forever deprived of the delights which such beautiful creatures could bestow, and that she whose resemblance I contemplated would, regarding me, have changed the air of divine dignity. To one expressive of disgust and affirmation. Oh, and a fright. Sorry. Can you wonder that such thoughts transported me with rage? I only wonder that at that moment, instead of venting my sensations in exclamations and agony, I did not rush among mankind and pressure in the attempt to destroy them. While I was overcome by these feelings, I felt like I left the spot where I had committed the murder, and seeking a more secluded hiding place. I entered a barn which had appeared to me to be empty. A woman was sleeping on the same straw. She was young, not intended so beautiful as whose portrait I held, but an agreeable aspect blooming in the loveliness of youth. Here I thought is one of those joy imparting smiles are bestowed on me, but me. And then I bent over her and whispered, "Awake, fairest, thy lover is near. He who would give his life but to obtain one look of affection from thine eye, my beloved, awake." The sleeper stirred, a thrill of terror ran through me. Should she indeed wake, and she see me, and curse me, and denounce the murderer? Thus would she assuredly act. If her darkened eyes opened, and she beheld me, I thought was madness. It stirred the fiend within me. Not I, but she shall suffer. The murder I have committed, she shall atone. The crime had its source in her. Be hers the punishment. Thanks to the lessons of Felix and the sanctity laws of man, I had learned now to work mischief. I bent over and placed the portrait securely in one of the folds of her dress. She moved again, and I fled. For some days, I haunted the spot where the scenes had taken place, sometimes wishing to see you, sometimes resolved to quit the world and its miseries forever. Although I wandered towards these mountains, and have ranged through their immense recesses, consumed by a burning passion which you alone can gratify, you may not part until you have promised to comply with my requests. I am alone and miserable. Man will not associate with me, but one as deformed and horrible as myself would not deny herself to me. My companion must be of the same species and have the same defects. This being you must create. We are on chapter 9, everyone. The last chapter of volume 2. The last one. Not the last chapter of the book. Unfortunately, we have several more chapters to get through. But the last of this volume. Chapter 9. Oh, by the way, it switches back to Victor's point of view now. So we're switching back. The being finished speaking, and fixed his looks upon me in the expectation of a reply. But I was bewildered, perplexed, and unable to agree my ideas sufficiently to understand the full extent of his proposal. He continued, "You must create a female for me, with whom I can live in interchangeable of those sympathies necessary for my being. This you alone can do, and I demand it of you as a right, which you must not refuse to concede." The latter part of his tale had kindled anew in me that anger that had died away while he narrated his peaceful life among the cottagers, and as he said this, I could no longer suppress the rage that burned within me. "I do refuse," I replied, and no torture shall ever extort a consent from me. You may render me the most miserable of men, but you shall never take me. Base in my own eyes shall I create another like yourself, whose joint wickedness might desolate the world. I beckon. I have answered you. You may torture me, but I will never consent.
That's right. Illuminati conspiracy.
I was like Bob making the same mistake as the doctor.
For this episode of Not Past Yet, out now. Tap now to listen
Wait.
free on Spotify.
Wait. Do you mean like Doctor Who, the Doctor, or what? Or you mean Frankenstein? Frankenstein's not a doctor. He's just some dude. Frankenstein's literally just a dude. But yeah, no, it's not really a mistake. He's just like, hey, I don't want to be alone. He's basically, I don't want to be alone. Can I not be alone? Anyways, and goes, "You are in the wrong," replied the fiend, "and instead of threatening, I am content to reason with you. I am malicious because I am miserable. Am I not shunned and hated by all mankind? You, my creator, would tear me to pieces and triumph. Remember that, and tell me why I should pity man more than he pities me. You would not call it murder if you would if you could precipitate me into one of these icy rifts and destroy my frame, the work of your own hands. Shall I respect man when he condemns me? Let him live with me in the interchange of kindness, and instead of injury, I would bestow every benefit upon him with tears of gratitude at this acceptance. But that cannot be. The human senses are insurmountable barriers to our union. Yet mine shall not be the submission of adjacent slavery. I will revenge my injuries. If I cannot inspire love, I will cause fear, and chiefly towards you, my arch enemy, because my creator, do I swear inextinguishable hatred. Have a care. I will work at your dissertation, nor finish until I desolate your heart, so that you shall curse the hour of your birth. A fiendish rage animated him as he said this. His face was wrinkled into Hold on. I think my dog wants to open the door. I'm sure if they make another like Bob, they won't be happy about it. Why would someone want another to suffer like they... No. They don't want another to suffer like they have. They want another to be made so that they don't suffer anymore. Bob ain't mad about being ugly. Dude, Bob is fucking like... First off, he's 6 feet tall, has long, luscious locks, and has golden, glowing eyes. If anything, that's a snack. So I have to get past his almost gaunt-ish looking skin and his almost teeth. I can somewhat see through his skin. But, hey. Bub is a snack. He is. If you look up the description of Frankenstein, first off, he's supposed to have a very handsome, almost Giga Chad looking face, with a beautiful golden glowing eyes, and long luscious hair, and be 6 feet tall, and have a muscular body. Guys, that's a Giga Chad right there. He's just a Giga Chad. Yes! Imagine handsome Squidward's face, but with black, long, luscious locks, and golden eyes. That's what he looks like. Hello, puppy. Have you decided to join us? Oh, guys, if I get another dog, I'm naming the dog Pochita. Come here, puppy. Yeah. My doggy has joined us. I know you cannot see her on screen because I do not have it. Need art of that now? You need art, you need... I was actually thinking about making, next Halloween, doing a series of pictures called Horror Daddies. Where I basically draw, like, very prominent, like, horror kind of things, but as, like, hot daddies. But, I mean, Frank, the monster is already a daddy. Come on. Frankenstein monster, but he's already thick. Hello, puppy. Are you joining the reading now? Oh, you demand pets? You demand pets? Is that what you demand? Your little pretty princess demands pets. I guess my mom left because Leia's now in here. Yeah, it's 5 o'clock. She's already at church. Hey, I'll make him double cheeked up, man. But yeah. I want to do that. I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be very nice and very fun to do. That's next Halloween. I found the new D&D starter set. Ooh, nice. Anyways, so where was I? Nightwing cake up. I know, right? Oh my gosh, Nightwing with the foot. Yeah, imagine that, but it's 6 feet tall and long. His hair long, luscious locks and golden eyes. Yeah. Oh yeah, a fiendish rage animated him. His face was wrinkled, contours too horrible for human eyes to behold. But presently he calmed himself and proceeded. I intend to reason. This passion is determined to me, for you do not reflect that you are the cause of its excess. If any being felt emotions or benevolence towards me, I should... Leia, shush, hush. It's just the mailman. It's just the mailman. Okay. Aww, he's thicker than that. Give him the benefit of the doubt here. Come on. No. He's thicker than that. Yeah, he's at least 60. May not be in the 80s or the 70s, but he definitely in the 60s for that. If any being, I should return them to, if any being felt emotions of benevolence towards me, I should return them in 100 and 100-fold. For that one creature's sake, I would not make peace with the whole kind. But I now indulge in my dreams of bliss that cannot be realized. What I ask of you is reasonable and moderate. I mean, yeah. You actually kind of spoiled it, because literally on the next page it talks about that. Yeah. But I mean, you know, what? Monster needs the big block. Oh my gosh. He down bad. He is. He just wants love. He just wants family. You know what? I don't know if anyone's seen Chainsaw Man, but if anyone's seen Chainsaw Man, you know Denji? He's literally just Denji. He's literally Denji from Chainsaw Man, if you think about it. Think. Bought really on the suit for Gucci. Anyways, the passion, oh my gosh. What I ask of you is reasonable and moderate. I demand a creature of another sex, but as hideous as myself. The gratification is small, but it is all that I can receive, and it shall content me. It is true, we shall be monsters, cut off from all the world, but on the account we shall be more attracted to one another. Our lives will not be happy, but they will be harmless and free from misery I now feel. Oh, my Creator, make me happy. Let me feel gratitude towards you for one benefit. Let me see that I excite the sympathy of some existing thing. Do not deny me my request. I was moved. I shuddered when I thought of the possible consequences of my consent. You good, puppy? You're really scratching there. God damn, she's really... Leia, do you need me to scratch? Do you got it? Okay. My dog just started ridiculously scratching, and I was like, you need a hand? I thought of the possible consequences of my consent, but I felt that there was more justice in his argument. His tale and the feelings he now expressed provoked him to be a creature of fine sensations. And did I not, as his maker, owe him all the proportion of happiness that it was in my power to bestow? He saw my change of feeling and continued. Leia. You okay? You okay, puppy? Do you need any help? Come here.
You said you'd go out with me.
I think she has like a mat there that she's trying to scratch out. You good?
Did I?
Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah, she's laying down. She's good now.
Even if I did, you've changed too much. You aren't the you I want to go out with.
Yeah, she's not very... Actually, that's pretty accurate. She's not very clingy. She's just on her bed right there. On my desk area, she has a little bed for herself because she's small enough to fit on my desk. And so I just placed her over there. There we go. Yeah. If you consent, neither you nor any other human being shall ever see us again. I will go to the vast wilds of South Africa. My food is not that of man. I do not destroy the lamb and the kid to gut my appetite. Acorns and berries afford me sufficient nourishment. My companion will be of the same nature as myself, and will be content with the same fare. We shall make our bed and of dried leaves. The sun will shine on us as on man, and will ripen our food. The picture I present to you is peaceful and human, and you must feel that you cannot deny it only in the wantonness of power and cruelty. Pitiless as you have been towards me, I now see compassion in your eyes. Let me seize the favorable moment. Let me seize the favorable moment and persuade you to promise what I so ardently desire. You propose, replied I, to fly from the habitations of man and to dwell in some wilds where the beasts of the fields will be your only companions. How can you, how long for the love of sympathy of man perceive in this exile? You will return and again seek their kindness, and you will meet with their destination. Your evil passions will be renewed, and you will then have a companion to aid you in the task of destruction. This must not be. Cease to argue the point, for I cannot consent. Now, how inconsistent are your feelings? But a moment ago you were moved by my reparations. Why do you again harden yourself to my complaints? I swear to you by the earth which I inhabit, and by you that made me, that with the companion you bestow I will quit the neighborhood of man, and dwell as it may chance in the most savage of places. My evil passions will have fled, for I shall meet with sympathy. My life will flow quickly away, and in my dying moments I shall not curse my maker.
Sip vitamin water gutsy and nourish every going for it you. Whoops, never mind you. Shameless you. Extra cautious you. No risk, no reward you. Vitamin water.
His words had a strange effect upon me. I compassion. Oh, hello, puppy. Oh, she's. Oh, hello. Oh, big stretches right in front of me. Hello. Hello. Oh, you're just gonna sit. Okay. You're not as fluffy anymore, so you're not as much in my way. His words had a strange effect on me. I compassionated him and sometimes felt a wish to console him. But when I looked upon him, when I saw the filthy mass that moved and talked, my heart sickened, and my feelings were altered to those of horror and hatred. I tried to stifle these sensations. I thought that as I could not sympathize with him, I had no right to withhold from him the small portion of happiness which was yet in my power to know. The small portion, the small... Oh, wait, hold on, I missed. I had no right to withhold from him the small portion of happiness which was yet in my power to bestow. You swear, I said, to be harmless. But have you not already shown a degree of malice that should reasonably make me distrust you? May not even this be a feat that will increase your triumph by affording a wider scope of your revenge? How is it? I must be trifled with, and I demand an answer. If I have no ties, no affections, hatred and vice must be my oh my gosh, my dog. Must be my proportion. Must be my portion. The love of another will destroy the cause of my crimes, and I shall become a thing of those existence. Everyone will be ignorant. My vices are the children of a forced solitude that I abhor, and my virtues will increase. Virtues will necessarily arise when I live in communion with an equal. I shall feed the... Leia, get yourself comfortable. Come on. Oh, excuse me. Get yourself a girl that can burn. That's what you need. What do you need? What you don't like, I give you a nice kiss. Where was it? Yeah. become a sensitive being, and I shall feel the affections of a sensitive being and become linked to the chain of existence and events from which I am now excluded. I paused some time to reflect on all he had related, and the various arguments which he had employed. I thought of the promise of virtues which he had displayed on the opening of his existence, and the sequential blight of all kindly feeling by the loathing and scorn which his protectors had manifested towards him. His power and threats were not omitted to my calculations. A creature who could exist in the ice caves of the glaciers and hid himself from pursuit among the ridges of inaccessible perceptions was... Oh my gosh. Oh no. Innocent perception, where's perception? Oh, precipitation was a being possessed, was a being possessing factuals it would be vain to cope with. After a long pause of reflection, I concluded that the justice due both to him and my fellow creatures demanded of me that I should comply with his request. Turning him, therefore, I said, I consent to your demand, on your solemn oath to quit your forever and every other place in the neighborhood of man, as soon as I shall deliver into your hands a female who will accompany you in your exile. I swear, he cried, by the sun and by the blue sky of heaven and by the fire of love that burns my heart, that if you grant me my prayer, while they exist, you shall never behold me again. Depart to your home and commence your labors. I shall watch their progress with unutterable anxiety, and fear not that when you are ready, I shall appear. Saving this, I suddenly quitted him. He suddenly quitted me, fearful perhaps of any exchange in my sentiments. I saw him descend the mountains with greater speed than the flight of an eagle, quickly lost among the undulations of the sea of ice. This tale had occupied the whole day, and the sun was upon the verge of the horizon when he departed. I knew that I ought to hasten my descent towards the valley, as I should soon be encompassed in darkness, while my heart was heavy and my steps slow. Boop, boop the snoot. Oh, you want me to boop the snoot? Boop. She gotta boop the snoop. Eventually, if I get a dog cam, I will have a redeem for boop the snoop, and I will boop the snoop. The labor of winding among the little paths of the mountain and fixing my feet firmly as I advanced. Stonks. Yes. Boop the stonks. So you better save up them points, them redeems for whenever that comes up. The labor of winding among the little paths of the mountain and fixing my feet firmly as I advanced perplexed me, occupied as I was by my emotions which the occurrences of the day had produced. Night was far advanced when I came to the halfway resting place and seated myself beside the fountain. The stars shone at intervals as the clouds passed from over them. The dark pines rose before me, and every here and there a broken tree lay on the ground. It was a scene of wonderful solemnity, and stirred strange thoughts within me. I wept bitterly and clasped my hands in agony. I exclaimed, "O stars and clouds and winds, ye are all about to mock me. If ye really pity me, crush sensation and memory. Let me become as naught, but if not, depart and leave me in darkness. These were wild and immeasurable thoughts, but I cannot describe to you how the internal twinkling of the stars weighed upon me, and how I listened to every blast of wind, as if it were a dull, ugly succor, or on its way to consume me. Morning dawned before I arrived at the village of Chalmux. I took no rest, but returned immediately to Geneva. Even in my own heart, I could not give an expression to my sensations. They weighed on me with a mountain's weight, and their excess destroyed my agony beneath them. Thus I returned home, and entered the house, presented myself to my family. My haggard and wild appearance awoke intense alarm, but I answered no question. Scarcely did I speak. I felt as if I were placed under a ban, as if I had no right to claim their sympathies, as if I never more might I enjoy companionship with them. Yet, even thus, I loved them to admiration, and to save them, I resolved to dedicate myself to my most abhorred task. The prospect of such an occupation made every other circumstance of existence pass before me like a dream, and that thought only had me the reality of life. And that is the end of Volume 2 of Frankenstein. In the next several chapters, we will probably be discussing his work of making The Bride of Frankenstein. Or, well, technically it isn't The Bride of Frankenstein, it would be The Bride of the Creature, Bob. So, yeah, The Bride of Frankenstein as a movie is pretty misleading. I'm just petting my puppy right now. She's so happy. But man, wow, 3 hours. 3 hours took to read all that. Let me just put you down. There you go. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Wait. So, hello, puppy. I actually realized that I had another book that we could have read, but I decided not to read, and only realized till now that I could have read it, and it's called The Bloody Chamber. And oh doggy, if you think that Frankenstein is bloody, ooh dog, no! This one was way worse, and I know because I read it. It was a lot, but this is the introduction. I thought I read the entirety of The Bloody Chamber. Oh, yeah. And then there's also the other. Oh. I did not realize this was in here. Apparently, there's another short story in here of The Bloody Chamber that is called The Werewolf and the Company of Wolves. Wow. I could have read this one for Halloween, but no, I decided to go with the true almighty classic of that. But I also realized I actually do have the Iliad and the Odyssey, if you guys would be interested in reading that too. Oh my gosh. Hold on. Ray wants me to make more assets for her. And actually the funny thing is that I was actually thinking of doing this for my stream. for certain things. So, yeah. Oh my goodness. I'm getting a lot more follows. Buy me resin? Ha. No. I won't say what she's commissioning me for, but I might ask her if I can stream her commission on because now it will be, you know, after Monday, then I won't have to worry. I might ask her if I am allowed to stream her commission. Hey. Hey. No bunks. Yeah. But yeah, I'll ask her for permission on that before I do it. She'll probably be okay with it because, you know, she'll watch the video and she'll watch the VOD and be like, oh my gosh, this looks so good. But then it's did you see? I did see the Minecraft amiibos. No, not the ads! Anything but the ads! Yeah. But yeah. Oh, you do have a long piece of hair here. Oh, I guess I gotta go and trim you some more. Anyways, let me see who is online to raid so we can go raid them. I will say when I do the raid, I'm just gonna drop you guys off and I'm gonna peace out because I'm very tired. 3 hours is very tiring to me. I'm gonna put you down, puppy, because I need to do some stuff. Monsters of... Ooh. So anyways, let's get the... Mod, can you get the raid chat message going? Let us go. Yeah, no one else is online that I've been following, so... Ads done. Mod, raid. Ew, another ad? What do you mean? What do you mean another ad? Anyways, now it's done. Can you do the raid and chat, get the raid, messages going? Okay, thank you, thank you. Yeah, let me do this one. So we're gonna be raiding a friend of mine, who is having some, it looks like he's having some, Halloween fun in VR chat with his friends.
Want to hear more of this chilled lo-fi vibe? Check out Immuno on Spotify and follow our playlist for even more.
Yeah, there you go. Yep. Okay. So you guys got your stuff copied? Okay, good. Good. So thank you all for watching and for listening to this reading of Frankenstein. We will be reading volume 3. We will be reading the first 4 chapters, and then we will finish on the last 3 chapters. Okay. So yes, thank you all so much for watching, and as I always say, I shall see, may the wind guide you until next time. Goodbye.
If you're tired of how hard it is to make friends as an adult, it's time to try Meetup. As the destination for friendship for 20 years, Meetup is the place to make real connections while doing what you love. Meetup events make it easy to connect with others in person and build real friendships. Check out events in LA by tapping the banner or downloading the Meetup app.